guys, I wanted to share with you some more explorations I've been doing on lateral side bend, and especially with lagging the wrists. As you saw in my other videos, I talked about lagging the arms and how that affects lateral side bend. And this time I've done some more experiments and tried to get the wrists going too. And I found this thing which other people have talked about too. It's comparing a swing to a trebuchet, and I don't know if you guys know what that is, but I think in the Middle Ages, before they had catapults, and the catapults would, launch the stones to when they were on the castles. And then I think in the Middle Ages they invented this thing called a trebuchet, which basically had a rope attached to the end of an arm, and then it just like flung the stones even farther.
An easily adjustable machine.
They called those things siege weapons. And with this new move that I've been working on, it's really increased my power, and it feels like I have a siege weapon in my hands. It's awesome. I mean, I've gained, like, I don't know, maybe 30-40 yards. I'm hitting the ball farther than I ever have. The other day I caught a downhill. I had a drive. I caught a downhill lie on a par 5, and I hit my very first 300-yard drive. So it was like, wow. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. Once again, I will give you some proof, hopefully, with some before and after swings, just with what I'm working on and what I'm changing. Try to describe to you why I think, doing what the move that I'm doing, why it influences, lateral side bend and power in the swing, and then most importantly, how I got it. So why does lagging your wrists give you more lateral side bend and more power? Well, here's what I think is, and I'm going to show you like this because I have bad flexibility in my arms. That's why I bend my elbow. I can't really keep my shoulder against my chest and my arm straight. So when I think when you're coming down, and imagine you have no wrist cock. Well, when you're coming down into the ground like this, I think psychologically you think that this club is going to go straight into the ground, and so you're going to bail out of it, and so you'll naturally goat hump and come out. But when you have some wrist cock, then psychologically you're thinking, okay, my club's not going straight into the ground, and I can hold it off just a little bit longer, and then have the club go through, and so I can stay closer to the ground because I have this thing that's not going to go boom straight into the ground like that. It's going to pass by and then go through. So that's why I think, at least for me, psychologically, it feels like I can keep that lateral side bend without having that feeling of bailing out. And then how it affects power, I believe, is, well, you just have more angular velocity right at the end, and that's that trebuchet action instead of the catapult action where you're just going like that. You don't have that multiplier. You just have the trebuchet action. So for the proof, you can see in the before and after videos, it's just the one swing thought that I had, which is keeping the shaft on my shoulder. And I also I bought this little Sky Pro swing aid a couple of years ago. I don't use it that much now, but for getting certain stats, I find it very useful. And so what I wanted to do is show you with the two different swings, my hand speed compared to my club head speed.
Okay, so you can see in the orange is the before, where my hand speed is 17 and 19 miles per hour, and my club head speed is 88 and 86 miles per hour. And in the after, my hands actually slowed down, where they're only 16 and 15 miles per hour, yet my club speed is at 99. So I actually gained over 10 miles per hour, while my hands were actually going slower.
All right, so how do you do this? Um, well, everybody says, you know, your swoosh should come after the ball and not at the ball, or even worse, before the ball. So how do you do that? Well, I tried getting the swoosh over here, but I just had a hard time getting the right feeling or swing thought to doing that. And it's also one of those things, since it's based on timing and rhythm, it's hard to do going slowly. So I had to, well, what I did was, instead of just thinking, keep the swoosh out here, what I did was I said, what I want to do, the feeling I want to have is, I want to have this club on my shoulder, on my upper arm over here, swinging through like this, and then not only then, you know, but not then, you know, go like that and then release it, but it's even all the way through impact. So it's turning through with the club on your shoulder and then firing out. So with the rhythm, it went from looking more like a this type of rhythm to that type of rhythm, where you're really just lagging, and then the club will naturally throw, but you want to feel like at impact you're like this. Obviously when you're swinging the club at impact, you're opening up and you're like that. But that's at least the swing thought, is everything facing that way and this club on your shoulder. And that helped me get the swoosh out here instead of just thinking, you know, swoosh out there. It just didn't really work for me. Now, one of the really hard things is how it influences lateral sidebend. Is when you do that, you can actually on the top of your downswing get closer to the ground. You see Tiger get that squat, and you're like, how does he get so close to the ground without the club going into the ground? And that's the hard part, is when I would do that at first, I would go, and I go like, you know, naturally my instincts would say that this club head's going straight into the ground, so then I would bail out of it. Even though I tried to hold my lag, I would bail out. So, and I couldn't do this going slow, because you need to sort of change the rhythm. It's hard to go slow through this swing change. So I did another method where what I did was I basically put the ball down and I backed away from it, and I did the swings how I wanted them to be. So like this, and I would just find that nice rhythm, and then I slowly creep towards the ball, and then I just go right into the ball again once I creeped up. And at first it was really hard, because what I would do is I'd creep up and then I'd go, but I'd know the ball was there, and then I'd bail out. And it took me a couple of tries of just almost closing my eyes and just having pure blind faith that I was going to hit the ball and not go straight into the ground. But I was finally able to just take that leap of faith, very counterintuitive, and then just get, you know, you can say I can get close to the ground, and as long as I keep this club on my shoulder, I'll turn through and the club is not going to hit the ground. And once I did that, I had no clue where the ball was going to go. I maybe shanked it, popped it in the air, I had no clue. But once I was able to get that leap of faith, that the club was gonna not hit the ground. Then all of a sudden I had that lag in the wrist, and then it just bam. And at first I didn't hit it too far, but once I was able to get over that initial mental barrier, then I started cranking it up and then turning my shoulders even faster and faster. And that's all of a sudden where the power just came, and then that feeling of having a trebuchet, not a catapult, not like this, you know, but just that wham. And that's what you see in the long drive hitters, or even like a Dustin Johnson. I mean, Dustin Johnson, he just, I didn't do any swing speed training, none of that sort of stuff. All I did was use this one thought of keeping this club on my shoulder at impact, and then turning everything towards the target and swinging, changing the rhythm. And that's what worked for me. So I hope this video helped you. Once again, I try to always explain one simple concept, show you the proof. I do all the experiments on myself, try to figure out or explain the why things are happening, and the how. And I hope this helps you. Please leave any comments or questions. Thanks.